Okay? So the word er meaning on unites the following word, and there's a couple more forms of these. Okay? Okay. So I'll try just a couple people here. So a hyun, and what okra sort? Neil. Okay, so I asked him, well, okra sort, are you hungry? He said Neil. So now I can ask a question. How would I ask, is John hungry? And well, okras hyun. So is there hunger on John? And how would you say no? And how would you say he's not hungry? Neil okras there isn't hunger on him. Okay? I guess a warbra and will tart ort. So and will tart ort, is there thirst on you? So and will tart warbra. And how do you say she's thirsty? Urhi. Now since it's hot, by the way, I don't want any of you fainting on me, so you can go grab something to drink if you need to, okay? So we'll part, okay, and I can ask also, is she thirsty? And we'll part urhi. I guess, talking about Sean, and we'll okras Neil. Okay? Now, if you, you come in late and, the kid was sick, how would you say, posture is, actually what we use. Yeah, mafashcha. Or that's actually what we do, we'll walk, or minin is my son or my daughter, okay? So, come in late and you might say, Gamalishko, excuse me, my son was sick, okay? Because V mawak chin. So V mawak chin. So my son was sick, okay? Or if his name is Sean, you can say V Sean chin, okay? Or V menin chin, or V Myra chin, okay? And then the question, how do you remember how to ask what's wrong with someone? Kadata or. Okay. Now, since we saw this kadata here, sentences like 58 through particularly 58, kadata, so kitchen, what is in the kitchen? Well, kadata ort is the same idea. What is on you? What is it that is on you? So, how would I ask then, what was on him? Kad avi air. Okay? So the same as you would ask from here, what was in the kitchen, kad avi sahishjan, is asking what was in the kitchen. To say what was wrong with him is what was on him, kad avi air. Okay, so it's very important to understand in Irish the way constructions are put together, like kadata or what is wrong with you. In Irish is not what is wrong with you, it is what is it that is on you. And so if you want to ask what was wrong with you, you don't say what was wrong with you, you say what is it that was on you. Okay? And if you want to say he had a cold, there was a cold on him, which is
the slide on air.
The slide on air. So the slide on air was cold on him. Okay? And how about if I ask, what was wrong with her? Talking about Myra, or your daughter here.
What was wrong?
Yeah, what was wrong with her? Kada vi urhi. So kada pa urhi, what's on her? Kada vi urhi, what was on her? And I might, if you want to say, she had a headache. Okay, I heard various things. So I heard some of the right words in the right sequence, but I think different words from different people. So she had a headache, or in Irish, I mean, there was a headache on her. So first of all, was headache keen on her. So be keen urhi. So there was a headache on her, was sickness of head on her. Okay? How would you ask, did she have a cold?
She will slide on the ear.
Did she have a cold?
She will slide on the ear.
Okay, and Rev.
Oh, Rev.
Okay, so did she have a cold? Was there a cold on her? On Rev, it was slide on the cold on her. And how would you say no? Ni Rev wasn't. Yeah, so on Rev slide on her, did she have a cold on her? Did she have a cold? Ni Rev, no, there wasn't a cold on her. And then you would go on, you might say again, Vi Tinaskin, or she had a headache. Okay? And then, how would you ask, does she often have a headache? Mian Tinaskin or he Gominik. So, okay, since I'm asking about something that's repeated, use a mian. It's a question. Is it often? Is there often? A mian. Or is there as a habit? Tinaskin, a headache. Or he Gominik.
I still don't understand why we have to say
If you just say a mian Tinaskin or he, it's not entirely clear, because if you want to ask,
she usually has a headache.
if you ask a mian Tinaskin or he, it sort of means more, you could get away with it in that case, okay? But since your question really is you're trying to emphasize the question, is it often that it happens, okay? Then it's good to put in the extra word in there to say, okay, I'm asking, is it often that she has one? A mian Tinaskin or he Gominik.
How does it break down in English, like, how does this follow each other?
Well, if you just ask a mian, and you know, a lot of times it's good to have a word in there to kind of tell you whether you're asking if it's often, or you're asking, does she have one every winter, does she have one every morning? So you want to kind of clarify a lot of times, and particularly since your question is about, in English I asked, does she often have a headache? Your question is about, is it often? So you want to try to put the word in that case. And you kind of have to feel when it's right to put it in and when not.
So it's only with answering the question. Is that you use Gominik when you're answering or confirming the question?
No, it depends really on what you're trying to say. So if the question is, I would put Gominik in when you're asking, does she often have a headache? Okay. I could ask also, does she always have a headache? And mian Tinaskin or agoni. Okay. Does she always have one? And you might say, ni bien, no, ach bien Tinaskin or Gominik, but she often has a headache. Okay, so you might distinguish between it always and often. So without having, you know, I put the usually in brackets there. I mean, the saying is, if you say it, if you hear it in Irish, if you hear it in Irish, form like being, and you don't have any words like often or ever and such, then if you put usually in English, it sometimes makes it clearer, okay? But not every time that you have the word usually in English do you just not put anything in Irish. There is words like Ancujas Modanam is most of the time and such. So there are words, Gominik is often. So you have words in Irish that also mean that. And you have to put them in sometimes because it's appropriate, okay? And that's part of that is also getting a feeling for when you use it in Irish and how you use the language. And sometimes you would say Bienshe for in Erin. It does be cold in Ireland. You know, it's probably not entirely true because it's not always really. You know, it's often is warm too. But you know, Bienshe for so yivra. It does be cold in the winter. Okay, which is typically true. So it's usually cold in the winter. It's the way it is in the winter, okay? You don't have to say Bienshe for Gominik, so where it is often cold in the winter. Okay, it's clear enough just to say without Gominik then. But if you want to ask, does she often have headaches, you put the word Gominik in to make sure you're asking, is this the way it often is, okay? I don't know if that's a good explanation. A lot of things you have to do, and one of the things I'm going to do in this class is we'll be reading stuff and listening to things, and I think as you get exposure to bigger pieces of the language, you get a feeling for what sounds good and what doesn't. Okay? All right, so hopefully everyone has some questions put together here. So give you a shot to ask that. So Vicky, you want to, and we'll just ask the person next after you. So Vicky and Margaret. Yeah.
Do you want me to just read something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. And okay. How about
A Nien Shafur and Show. Does it tend to be called Nivian? Oh, right. Okay, and then ask the Barbara one.
I don't even know if I'm saying this right, but I want to ask my monkey question.
Okay.
So, will monkeys sufficient?
And will monkey sufficient? Is there a monkey in the kitchen? And will monkey sufficient?
There's a giraffe.